Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Lee from Creatively here. Video FLOSSTUBE number 31 on Sunday 6th of September 2020. Welcome to my FLOSSTUBE, my YouTube video about predominantly about cross stitch. Excuse me, my throat. Yeah. I have a little bit to show this week, so I should really try and get through it. I've got 58 minutes to get this recorded, edited and uploading. I'm going to friends for lunch. I've just made excuse me, spent the morning making a Thai pumpkin soup, Thai curry pumpkin soup with and ciabatta. Yeah, mixing my cultures. To take round to some friends. One of my friends having a bit of a rough time of it, and with some family stuff, and I just thought that would be nice. Yeah, so I'm going to go around there at 1 PM. It is now 12:02. Yeah, I think everyone's having a bit of a rough time of it. There's just so much happening, right, with this undercurrent of COVID. It's like COVID's the cake, and then all the other life stuff is like, oh, let's load up this cake, let's add some sprinkles, let's add some chocolate chips, let's add some other freaking decorations. It's just a lot. There's a lot of cake, and it's a lot of icing, and a lot of frosting, and a lot of sprinkles on top. I've got some friends and family who have gone through some stuff, which, you know, is their stuff. It's just hard, you know, and my work is just hard. Really struggling with my job at the moment. It just feels like I'm wading through treacle. That's how my former manager, and I guess now peer, or I don't know, someone who I go and talk to about stuff, he sort of looked after my project while I was away, and he's like, never known such a difficult group. People who individually are great, but they just don't work together, they don't gel, and it's just like, as he said, it's like wading through treacle, and it's just, I don't even know. I don't know how to do it. And it feels like that treacle got a bit more solid the last couple of weeks. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know, it's a bit white and glary there, but I don't want to shut the blind because it's such a grey, overcast, rainy day. Anyway, so that's week, and I mean, I just miss my sister. The thing is, I usually only see my sister once a year because she lives in Australia, but I would have, my plans this year had been to go over, you know, I like going over in August because it's tail of their winter, just going into spring, which means they have temperatures of around 22, 24 Celsius during the day, which is like a nice summer's day here, even though they're all cold. And then overnight it cools right down, as opposed to in the middle of summer over there where it just doesn't cool down. So, you know, I don't like being hot, so I would normally go over anyway. And of course I can't. It's not happening this year, and who knows when it will happen. So part of it's the fact that I actually plan to go and see her. And my family, but mostly it's my sister who I miss, and you know, and I can't go this year, but also I don't know when that is. I guess it's that loss of freedom of choice, where I might not have gone, but it was my decision not to go, as opposed to this isn't my decision, and that's just like, you know, first world problems, right? Turns out global problems. So yeah, that's hard. It's coming up. September's hard. It's coming up. My mum's 10-year anniversary of, you know, when she died, and I miss, like, it's funny, I was talking to another friend last week, I think, and we were just, she gave me a call, I was a bit out of it on tramadol, because, yeah, back's still sore, and I just said, I just felt like ringing my mum today, like, I just wanted to ring her. I just sort of woke up with this just urge to call and have a talk, and, you know, you can't, so that's hard. Okay, let's not talk about that, a bit emotional. Dad's doing okay. He's having a bit of a rough week. He did have to go into hospital for a night, I think, or an after. I'm not sure actually. I don't really care about the detail, but had a bit of an angina attack and probably just his atrial fibrillation playing up. So there's nothing they really did in the hospital but just monitor him, and they said probably by the time he got in there it had settled down a little bit, even, but it was still like the right thing to go in. But I talked to him today for a bit. 9 more sleeps, as he said. So actually it was quite funny because he mentioned that he started telling me all these things, and I said, oh, you already know. I said, I talked to Megan, my sister, last night. So I said, basically anything that you told her, I already know. So really you just got to fill me in on what's happened since you talked to her. So unless you had a very exciting night, probably nothing. But he just had mentioned he bought a CD. And I said, oh, did you get a random CD in the mail a month or so ago? He said, oh yeah, I did. So what was really funny is I forgot to tell him that I'd ordered it. And then, so we were visiting my stepmother at the retirement home at the Alzheimer's ward, and it was like music hour or whatever. And this is like one of the few days Dad wasn't in hospital, back in June or July, I don't remember when, and must have been June. And they were playing old-timey songs and everyone sings along. It's really interesting, even though that like music is in a different part of the brain. So all of these people who are struggling with everyday life things and memory and being able to really have a conversation, you play a bit of a song they know and they'll sing away. They know the words, they'll sing, they know the tune. It's really amazing. So they do a lot of music therapy and stuff there. Anyway, they were playing the old-timey songs, and this song came on, and it was Eddie Fisher, who, I don't know the music. And then I think Dad was talking to one of the people that work at the home, and he said, oh yes, I've been looking for an Eddie Fisher CD, for a long time. He always goes through all the discount CDs at various stores and stuff. He sits out, he has a couple of little CD players in the house and out in his little shed, so when he's doing his little woodworking that he does, he listens to the songs. Anyway, so I'm like, sitting there. So I went online and I found a Eddie Fisher Greatest Hits CD on Fish Pond, I think it was, or Mighty Ape, I can't remember, but yeah, free shipping to New Zealand, but from the UK. I don't know what it was, like $10 or something. So I just went on there, grabbed my card while they were singing along, and just ordered it. And I forgot to tell him because, of course, by the time we left, he was really tired, and then I think that night we went back at hospital. So it was anyway. And then I remembered that I'd ordered it. I was like, oh, and I never said anything. So I went on my tracking and stuff, and it had been delivered 2 weeks earlier or whatever. So, but then I forgot to talk to him about it, because there's always so much to talk about these days, and because he runs out of energy, we never get through the list, and it's anyway. So I said to him today, did this CD arrive? Because I knew it, I said it would have come from the UK. He said, oh, the CD did come. He said, I couldn't work out who knew I was looking for an Eddie Fisher CD, and who I knew in England who would have sent me the CD. I'm like, it was me. So anyway, it was quite funny. Okay, random. Anyway, he's doing okay. We're looking forward to him getting his ablation done on the 15th, and fingers crossed it all goes really well and he starts to feel a little bit better. So, okay, stitching. I'll just have a sip of my tea. Okay, stitching. I did a little whip parade last week, and it reminded me that I hadn't worked on my Faery Square. I'm not taking everything out. Faery Square from Carolyn Manning Designs. And I was like, and I think I'd put it away thinking, oh, I don't know, will I actually stitch it? But I kind of it's one of those ones you stitch because it's just fun. So I thought, okay, until Sampler September starts, I will pick it up. I'm stitching this on 28 count Summer Coral Lugana from Country Stitch. And that's where so last week I had all of this house bit done but no back stitching, and I had some of this edging done. So pretty much I got all of the back stitching done on that little quarter, and added the little added the beehive and the little bees, they weren't there. And then I got, you know, a good chunk of the central path, grassy knoll, whatever you want to call it, done, and yeah, started filling it in. So I think that was a jolly good effort for Sunday afternoon and Monday evening. And I'll put it away again for a little while. But I felt really good getting that centre, the majority of that centre square done. Next time I pick it up, I'll finish off the centre square with all the little crossy patchy things. And then it means I've got a base to stitch any of the rows of houses. So that's the corner I've done. And I will be able to pick up any of the other little mushrooms as takes my fancy. So that's quite cool. I feel like I got a really good chunk of that done. So that was to finish off August. And I think I touched all of my whips in some way or other in August, because I did have a couple of finishes. It wasn't like a plan, it just happened. Then September, so I decided to pick up my Berry Bowl sampler, which I had stitched on recently, I guess, or had to start recently. So that's on 36 count antique sampler linen from Victorian Motto using a partial conversion. And I got quite a bit done. I got so much done that I've actually run out of a couple of weeks that I need to order. I had started with partial skeins left over from the In Friendship sampler, but yeah, so I've got about 3 or 4 motifs at the top, and then that left side is done. But I basically stitched all of that, and that one, and so basically from here up this stuff was already done. So I am loving it. I think it's way more colourful. Like, I liked this and I was intrigued, everyone was really into it, but I love, it's like most things stitched, they look so much better stitched than they look on a flat piece of paper. And I'm not saying my conversion's that spectacular, it's pretty close to the original, but like, this is the called for green, I think that one's grasshopper, and on here it's so dull, but on here it's really fresh. So yeah, the blue is a substitution, that's a Victorian Motto instead of whatever the blue is here. Anyway, I think it's great. So that got 4 days. I was going to give it up to 6, but I need, it's one of the colours that on this side, the basket, it's basically 2 of the, it's the white, that's not even a stitch. It's basically these 2 colours in here, the white and the variegated darker brown. Those 2 are the ones that I need. Down to like 2 single strands of floss and not enough to finish the next basket. So anyway, it's fine. It's had a good chunk. I've stitched on it in September, so I'm very happy, and it will go away, and I'm compiling a small list of some fancy flosses that I'll put through an order through to Catherine at Country Stitch to do for me. So that's cool. So I stitched on that. So that took me through, so that was Tuesday, so the first through the 4th, so Tuesday through Friday, stitched on that. Then I decided on Saturday, yesterday late afternoon, I'm going to have a new start. So I picked up R-Kade. I haven't done a little card for it yet because, you know, I don't have time. So R-Kade by Long Dog Sampler, and I'm stitching that on SILKS4U PR137, and the fabric is 36 count Edinburgh in the colour Geyser. and this is the SILKS4U. So when I cut up my SILKS4U, I kind of went through and I didn't cut it just in half because I didn't want the starts and the finishes all in the same place. So I wanted some starting with the blue and some starting with the green and some with a weird colour, and then I mixed it all up. So I basically took all this and I kind of went like this and pulled hunks and separated into 4 of these floss cards that I made. And you get all the variegation there. It's so pretty. So, and then I've settled on, basically, oh, here's one of my others. So yeah, I'm using that for the majority of it. And I'm using DMC 500 for the lettering and the back stitch, I've decided. So all the lettering will be this and the back stitch, because I just decided that looked better. I tried both ways and decided that. And I'm doing the hearts in 2 strands of this Krenak, which is blending filament 085, left over from a previous project. Just to give it a little something. I haven't ironed anything because I haven't got time. And I start at the bottom. And that's what I got done yesterday afternoon, evening. Ugh, I really should iron it, shouldn't I? Never mind. So yeah, I think that is going to look fantastic. So yeah, I think the back stitching in that darker green just makes it pop a little more. It got a little bit disappeary when I used the floss, because the floss is actually quite light. The lightest greens on that silk is quite light, and then the lettering just in the dark. So yeah, a little sample there of I've gone over onto page, not page 2 because I'm at the bottom, but I think this page, it cuts around here and it cuts around here. So I've probably got about just over half to 3/4 of a page done. It's gonna look great. So I'm really happy with it. On the screen at the moment, the colour's not really right. It's probably more, it's slightly yellower than what it looks like on my screen, and I don't have a bag for it. I'm going to have to finish something because I'm currently using that. So I just did 1 day on that, so I'm probably going to, the moment during September, I'll change my mind anyway, but at the moment I'm doing stitching on it on Saturdays. At the end of the month I do have a 3-day scrapbooking retreat, so I probably won't get a lot of stitching done, and then I go up to Kawerau for Dad's birthday, so I'm going up the very last few days of September, so we'll see how we go. My chart. So I do need to free up a bag for it. I probably do have a spare one somewhere. Crinkle, crinkle. So that was Saturday. And then today, so I'm running around doing a million things, trying to cook. I just picked up my Peppermint Purple Year of Blackwork that I'm stitching on. 18 count antique white Aida using call for DMC, and I just did these 3 this morning while I was talking to Dad. That one while I was talking to Dad and stretching my ciabatta. That one while the ciabatta was baking, and that one while the soup was doing its bubbly thing. So yeah, a little bit of work there. Oops, got that. So that's quite a lot. I think I've achieved quite a lot today. And then I will pick up, probably do Hoity Toity. I think that's next on the list, so I'll probably pick that up over the evenings this week. Try and give that 4 or 5 days. And then next on the list will be Halloween Quaker for the week after, and then I'll get to Quaker Seasons of Friendship again. So those are my samplers that are in the mix for the next week or so. Excuse me. Shopping. I did a little bit of shopping. I didn't bring the picture. So I am planning on, I'm kitting up. I'll need a couple of finishes before I start it, but I am kitting up the Save the Stitches. So I don't have a picture of the finished piece, but it was a freebie from Liz Armand's Blackwork Journey blog website, and I've got like all the various weeks printed off. And I'm doing it near called for, planning to do it, but not quite. So she did it on a 25 count, grey, blue grey, even weave. I'm going to do antique white 28 count. So I've managed to pick up the end of the bolt. So this is way more than I need. There's about just under 1 metre, and it's odd. It's an odd cut. It was like what was left of 28 count, because I do like 28 count. So I picked up that yesterday from Nancy's, and I've ordered a couple of balls of DMC number 12 Pearl, which is really, really hard to find anywhere, except I found some online. Everywhere else it's on back order forever. To do the, I don't even know the terminology. There's terminology for the outlines. So it's either that or use 2 strands of 310. This way it's just 1 strand. So I've ordered those, and then I decided, I thought I was going to use stuff from Stash, but I was in the store and I picked up the, what's it called, DMC Diamond, and instead of silver I'm going with a pewtery colour. It's the closest I could. So copper gold and pewter rather than copper gold and silver. And then I also just picked up some beads. So I've got, these are the called for. So these are the called for. There are alternatives, but these are the called for. And then I just did as close as I could that was there, and I didn't want silver, so going with the pewter instead of silver. So picked them up. And so really all I'm waiting for, and I think there's a DMC, a colour as well, that I think is a red, but we'll see. We might sub that for, I don't know, we'll see when we get there. Yeah, so I'm going to start that sometime in the future. And Emir from Armand M&M's she's put this away for a little bit. She's stitching this on, I don't know what she's doing for all the fancy stuff, but she's doing this like 1/1 on something ridiculous like 32 or 36 count or something, because she's young and she's a fiend. So we've sort of been messaging and again kind of going to stitch it together kind of thing. So I'll let her know when I'm ready to kick it off. But you know, so yeah, it's quite a big piece. I've seen lots of people have finished it, and I've had this printed off for ages. So just gathering everything up ready to go, but I will certainly need to finish. I mean, I won't be able to finish the Year of Blackwork until the end of the year, because we won't get the last block until the last week of the year, because it's a block a week. But I'll catch it up, so then it's like a not 5 minute job, but you know, half an hour or an hour to get it stitched. And I will, yeah, I'll need to, I'm making a lot of noise, aren't I? I don't really care. So I'll need to finish, I'll definitely aim to finish this first. This is doable. Quaker Seasons of Friendship, probably not doable, and like I won't aim to get that finished quite so quickly. And maybe the Berry Bowl sampler before I start that. I don't know. You know me, I'll just do it when I feel like it. So yeah, I picked up those just from Nancy's, because I was there. I was in town yesterday had brunch with a friend and then did some errands. And that's it. When you start, no finishes, everything's a little bit off of a finish. So I'm not close to a finish on anything at the moment. Probably Halloween Quake is probably the closest, and that's not close. Berry Bowl Sampler, I think one of my excuse me, subs or commenters, Jodie, hi Jodie, she said, she goes, I think you could finish Berry Bowl Sampler in September, and I could if I just carried on working on that. It's but I've run out of the thread, so I physically can't because I need the thread, but I could finish it. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to finish anything in September, so that's okay. They're all a bit big, so yeah. That's going to be me. I've got to take a couple of minutes out where I limped around the house looking for that Save the Stitches pattern. Yeah, shortish and sweetish. That was sweetish, not Swedish. Quite different things. Have fun with your stitching, and I hope you find time to stitch this week. If you're like me, where it brings you some serenity and calm, then I hope you find that in your week. And in the meantime, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.